What's up, YouTube? This video I want to dedicate this to uh, the teens, the young adults, right? And this, okay, so it just got me, like kind of thinking that I need to make this video to share something with everyone, really, and it's about taking responsibility, and more than that, it's about actually like what sort of relationship you need to have with parents and stoicism in a way. So yeah, whenever I say stoicism, people always take that in the wrong sense. That I'm talking about, like bottling up your emotions and having no feelings. What the fuck am I up against, man? Oh damn. Okay, but that's not what stoicism doesn't mean that really. When I say being stoic, what I'm essentially trying to refer to is having the mentality of this too shall pass, which is really important, right? So there's a lot of people out there, right, who are struggling with with whatever with a lot of stupid stuff, and actually the biggest thing that I see is um, it's worrying for the parents, bro, right? So it's worrying for the parents, and I want to address that in this video. When I guess I was 20, or let's just say when I was younger actually, uh, I I was literally a doormat. And I'm not saying this in a figurative sense. I was literally a fucking doormat, right? People used to take me for granted. I used to do whatever, like, whatever people thought was appropriate. I wasn't myself, to put it in a very blatant manner. I was essentially, I was living for other people, right? I didn't have my own set of opinions. But the worst thing was, I used to uh I used to complain a lot. I used to like complain to my family a lot, my parents, and bless their soul, right? I have the most wonderful parents anyone can ask for. They have never left me high and dry. They've always made sure they can do whatever they can to take care of me and take care of my problems, to an extent where I would say that my parents have given me a lot of leverages and leeways, and I'm not essentially a really a textbook good guy, I've been a fucking asshole when I was younger. I was just I used to live for other people, but never for my parents. Yes, it makes me sound like a dick, but yeah, I was one of the worst sons you can ever imagine. But then, on top of not being there, the reason why I was the worst son was not because I took them for advantage or took them for granted, but then I only shared my problems with them and never the happiness. Right? This sounds like really small. You can be like, Arvin, like, I have a fucking problem, and the only person I can open up to is my parents. So what? Yeah, but doesn't mean you need to like use them to just dump all your problem. Yeah, you don't need to dump your emotion, your trauma on them. They have a lot of problems on their own, and something which I adore about my dad is he has this really really good mentality, where he won't, like, he always says that all the problems should end with him, right? So he wants to make sure that me and my younger brother, we grow up. It's not without knowing the problem, but then not having to face the major turmoils that he faced. And he always made sure that we were brought up with everything that he can humanly, like he within his capacity that he can do. And I would say he did more than he could, right? For me and my younger brother, my dad always does more than he could. He doesn't just like he doesn't just support us, but he literally like makes sure that we don't go a single day upset. And that's a huge thing, man. When God gives you such a wonderful family, the least you can do is actually make sure that you keep them happy, right? So I mean, when I was younger, I used to like, just dump whatever I was thinking. I used to like only talk about my problems to them. And my friend, ironically, his name is also Arvind here, right? He just told me one small thing that changed my whole perspective. He asked me, do they have problems as well? And yeah, of course, my parents had problems, bro. 100% they had problems. Like, they had their own problems which they were facing, but they made sure that that never came to us, right? And once you're a certain age, right, the least you can do for the people who love you so much that they're willing to sacrifice whatever they can for you is make sure that you share your happiness with them and have a very stoic approach in life so that they don't feel that that you're not unhappy, because when you think about it, their whole happiness is in your hand. Like, for every good parents, right, their source of happiness is you. They don't like, they would rather go hungry and not eat for eternity than see you cry even once. They don't mind starving to death, to make sure that the kids are happy. And that's how our parents are, right? We got to make sure that we share the happiness with them more than our sadness. We got to keep letting them know that we are happy every fucking day, right? So, this hit me hard, and ever since then, I've started taking a very stoic approach. And stoicism gets a bad rap. Stoicism doesn't mean I live in a denial. It literally means shit happens. All right. Now, the best way to solve the shit is by asking, is it in my hand? If it's in my hand, I do what I can to change it, right? Because there's a solution. I don't need to worry about the problem, right? I don't need to fucking worry about the problem. As long as there's a solution, I just need to get the solution done. If there's no solution. What the fuck are you supposed to do? So why do you worry? Right? You just need to buck up, and you gotta see a very positive approach and try to get it sorted out, right? What I'm saying right now might seem like really small, but in the grander scheme of things, it's like really deep, right? It's the way. I mean, it's essentially the thing that's lost in the current younger generation that I've seen, right? Because I hang out with. I mean, I've seen like guys younger than me significantly. I'm 26. I've seen a bunch of 19-year-old, 20-year-olds who unfortunately don't have that stoic approach, right? There is always something for them to criticize. There's always something, right? And I don't know whether this is like a generation gap of me thinking about the kids that way, but then your kids, like, even if there is something to complain about, right? Don't complain to your parents about it, right? Of course, there are miracle workers and shit, but come on, guys. The least you can do for make sure your parents are happy is showing them that you're happy, right? And their entire life revolves around your happiness. Their success is so that you're happy, right? Like, if given a choice, I'm damn sure every single dad, every single mom would retire by the age of 40 and fucking live a happy life, bro. Everyone would fucking want to do that. Who the fuck wants to wake up every day at 6 or at 6:30 in the morning, rush off to work, not eating the breakfast properly, staying overnight in the office to make sure things are done? I mean, it's not even their bloody company, bro. It's like whatever they're working on, it's not even going to them. It's going to the owner of the company, right? It's not even going to them. So why the fuck do they need to, like, work really hard? They're working really hard for you guys, right? And I really want like you guys to understand that and actually develop a more stoic approach and not always take every small thing as a problem, but as an opportunity, right? Moment you think of any sort of instance as rather an opportunity than a problem. Your whole mindset changes, and I hope that people can do that, right? And remember, if you guys do need something, you have your friends, bro. Like, why the fuck do you have your friends? Trauma dump on your bloody friends, bro. They have no choice. They gotta listen to you, bro. They have to. That's why they're fucking friends, right? Have good friends whom you can trauma dump on. They listen to your shit and they won't give you advice, but rather trauma dump on you again. So both of you can crib if you want. And you know what and slowly you will start being stoic with them as well, right? Listen, I'm not saying be a robot with no emotion. I'm just saying that know how to channelize your emotion, right? That's more critical than anything else, right? Knowing how to channelize your emotion is it's the do or die. But trust me, it's gonna be fun when you trauma dump on your friends rather than like trauma dump on your parents. Like, just tell them that you're happy, bro. They live for that. The only reason why your parents are doing what they're doing right now is so that you can be happy and successful in life. Like they've crossed that stage, bro. They've crossed everything. Let's just like give it a sense of thought. Like they've seen the world already, and still they're struggling to make sure that everything is good for you, right? That's how the parents work. Their whole life is dedicated to you, and the only thing you can do in return is show that you're truly happy. They don't care about anything else. They literally want you to be successful in life. They want you to be respected in life so that you can also be happy, and your happiness is their source of happiness, right? Just remember that, right? I don't want to bore you guys on lectures, but then I just thought I gotta put this out there because I come on, like nowadays I just feel that people are taking parents for granted and doing shit here and there, and it's just like it's kind of sad, bro. It's just really kind of sad that you would take wonderful people who sacrifice their whole life for you for granted. Don't do that. Yeah. If you really want to know the struggles your parents are facing, try to live their life once, right? Try to wake up every day. Try to bear in mind that only if you struggle, right? Three other people in your house can eat. That's a big thing, bro. That's a huge thing. Like you're literally like shouldering the responsibility of the whole house on you. And yet how many times have our parents complained to us? Not even once. Like, to my knowledge, my parents haven't even complained once. But even if your parents do have complained to you, right? I'm pretty sure it's far less a number of times than the amount of times you would have complained to them about something so minuscule in life that, like they would just look back and laugh. Right? Come on. Ain't that the truth? Yeah, so just learn to be there for them. Just learn to make sure that you prioritize and making sure that they feel happy, that they feel content. They should have the happiness that they've given birth to warriors, to actual let me just say, warriors, to warriors, and not just a bunch of people who just wants to give up on the first sight of danger. Yeah, you gotta keep the stoic approach, and the only way to do that is by actually asking one question to yourself: when there is a problem, can you solve it or not? If you realize you can't solve it, just don't worry about it. You can't do shit about it, bro. Just see what's the consequences for you and try to mitigate that, right? Then the next question: if you can solve it, what can you do? And if it is something, do it. And if it's a problem that you can do something to solve, why the fuck do you worry about it in the first place? Yeah, you can solve it, so don't worry about it, right? And get it done with. Now, once you do that, right, you get your sense of responsibility. You be like, as much as you can, you try to take responsibility for your own actions and try to make sure you're doing the right stuff. And that's essentially one step into adulthood. The main difference between an adult and a kid is knowing that each action has a sense of responsibility, has a really really big reaction to the way you live. Once you know that stuff, you genuinely are entering into adulthood, right? It's not your age, it's not your legal age that defines the adult mentality. It's actually the way you look at life, which has more of a consequence on that. right? Just hope that people can get that, bro. Fuck. Think about all the sacrifices parents make, and the only thing that you guys do is just fucking creep to them. Bro, come on. It's kind of sad. Look, I'm not trying to diminish the problems people face by no way. I know everyone has their own set of problems. I respect that. But we just need to realize that our parents, whatever you're facing right now, your parents are facing 5 to 10 times minimum more than what you're facing, right? Even this is the case even if you are fucking 40 and your parents are 70, right? You can rest assured your 70-year-old dad is gonna face more problems than you in your fucking 40s, bro, right? Even if you're an adult. So all the more reason you don't dump your shit on them. Even if you are dumping the shit on them, say in a very positive way. Like say, hey dad, yeah, I do have this problem, but it's not something I can't manage. I'm gonna sort out right now, and if I need something, I'll let you know, right? You gotta, and when, of course they're gonna be worried about you, but they're gonna be less worried than you saying, "Hey, Dad, I fucked up. I did this. I'm stuck here." You know, come on, man. That's just gonna give him. That's just gonna increase his blood pressure, right? So just develop your stoic nature, and I swear to God, you will have a wonderful approach to life. Life is beautiful, bro. The ups and downs are what create the symphony, right? And I want to end this video by letting you guys know that life is a symphony, and unless there's a low, you never see the beauty of the high, right? And with the highs and lows creates a crescendo, and that makes it beautiful. You can't just expect everything to be on the high. If that is, that's just a flat pitch, and that's a horrible music, bro. And life is music, yeah. So cheers and have fun, guys.